this is Koba Sensei from ITeens Lab. This is the 18th video in our series explaining how to use Unity. In this video, following up on the previous one, I'd like to go into even more detail about the functions of the canvas. This time, I want to show you how to keep updating the text on the screen from a script. We'll be continuing from the file we used last time, so if you haven't watched episode 17 yet, please start with that one first. Alright, let's get started right away. Well, in the last video, I created a canvas like this, and I wanted to put some text on it, and I showed you how it would look like. So, this time, I'd like to try changing the text a little bit from a script. So, let's start by creating a script to change the text here. Alright, right-click in the project window and select C# script, right here. Let's name it something like text change this time. Okay, let's leave it like this. Now, double-click to open it in Visual Studio. Alright, here it is. This is the text change script we just created. So, this is what it looks like at first. Now, the very first thing we need to do is add a using statement here. We need to add using UnityEngine.ui. I talked about this once in a previous video, but just to explain, what exactly is this using? In Unity, using means you're calling up functions that are already registered or built into Unity. You might notice that predictive input assistance and other convenient features work smoothly. Well, that's all thanks to these using statements. Unity comes with a lot of built-in features, and by using using, you're telling it which ones you want to use. This time, we're going to add the canvas feature as a new one. So, we've added it. Now, whether you use this or not really depends on your needs, so it's not loaded from the very beginning by default. Instead, when you want to use these UI features, you have to load them yourself. So, if you want to work with the canvas, you need to write using UnityEngine.ui at the very top of your script. Alright, so from here, let's go ahead and start writing the program. At first, you might not really understand what we're doing, so I'll go slowly. Please make sure to follow along carefully. The first thing we're going to do is create a public text variable. As for the name, let's call it something like message text. Okay, we've named it message text. This will be, as usual, a public variable. Yeah, message text to put yeah text. It's basically a container, a variable, really, that we'll prepare for this purpose. That's basically how it works. So, what I mean is, from here on, we're going to try editing this text, writing whatever we want in it. But to do that, first, we need to grab this text element. When you want to manipulate it from a script, you have to get a reference to it. That's why we're preparing a container to hold it. Now, as for how to grab it, this time, we'll save this and attach the script. Well, it could be anything, but for now, let's use the cube. This time, let's attach it to the cube we created at the beginning. Now, if we look at the cube, you'll see that the text change script has appeared here. Since we set it to public, the message text is now visible here. Next, drag and drop this text into this field. Yes, right here, from the inspector, drag it in so that the script knows. This is the message text, this is the text. Now it recognizes which text we're referring to. Now, this means we can manipulate it from this script. Alright, so next, I'd like to set it up so that when we press the space key, the text will change. If input, get key down, and keycode.space, right. This means when the space key is pressed. And from there, message text. This is the text we captured earlier. The message text equals. I've rewritten it. Let's try writing it like this. Okay, let's save and take a look. And then, let's play it. When you press the space key, like this, it changes to say, I've rewritten it. Let me explain the flow one more time. So, on this canvas, we have something called text and score. Now, this lower one is the text. Let's call it the message text, and we're writing a program to manipulate this one. In this program, well, this program is game object. this program won't run unless it's attached to some game object. So, to make this program, this script, work, for now I've attached it to a cube. If you look at this cube, you'll see the script is attached. And here, we've grabbed the message text we want to capture by dragging and dropping it. And then, right here, when the space key is pressed, this part runs. Yes, the message. The text. Well, it's the content of the text. The content of the text is rewritten. Yes, it gets changed. That's how the program works. So, right here, the message text, this is where the captured text is stored, and then that function is called. This text function is basically a feature that rewrites the text content. So, how does it rewrite it? Well, like this. That's how it rewrites the text. That's how it's set up. Now, at this point, I have a little additional note. I'd like to briefly explain it. Here, we've prepared a message text box to input text, and from the inspector, we set it up so that we can grab the text. Actually, there are quite a few different ways to grab this text. For example, there are several ways to grab it. For example, like we've done so far, you can use getComponent. That's one way to grab it. Or, like we did today, you can grab it through the inspector. Yes, those are the methods. Now, when you use getComponent to grab something, as I think we've done a few times in previous videos, basically, it's easy to grab components that are attached to yourself. But it gets a bit tricky when that's not the case. So in those situations, it's easier to grab it through the inspector. For example, right now we have a cube. I've attached this text change script to the cube. Now, if you want to grab something here using getComponent, it's relatively easy to get components from the object that this script is attached to. But if that's not the case, it gets a bit troublesome. That's why, this time, I decided to grab it through the inspector. Also, there are some special methods as well, so I want to show you those too. Okay, so for example. Alright, let's say we remove this public modifier. So, as you can see here, in the cube's text change script, this public variable is now gone. When it's set up like this, you can't grab it with drag and drop anymore. So, what do we do in this case? Well, there's another way to handle it, and I'll show you that too. You can use message text equals GameObject, find. And then text, and then this part right here. So, what exactly is happening here? Well, you can't just get the component directly from the message text. This time, the attached item is different, so we want to grab the message text specifically. To do that, first, we use GameObject, find to look for the target. Find here literally means to search. So, what kind of target are we looking for? We're searching for the one whose name is text. That's what this means. From within this hierarchy, the name, we're looking for the one that matches this string. In other words, this one right here, text. Alright, and then from there, we use .getComponent to get the text component. Basically, what we're doing here is grabbing the text part of this object. This is how you do it in Unity. So, we're capturing the text component of the object named text and assigning it to our variable. This should work just fine, so let's go ahead and test it out together. Yes, just like this. It worked perfectly. So, as you can see, we've properly captured this text component here. Now, this process of capturing a component might take some time for everyone to fully understand, but to put it simply, you have two main options, either capture it using getComponent or capture it through the inspector. Those are basically your two choices. Now, when you use getComponent to capture a component, it's pretty easy to grab your own component. If it's not your own component, you have to search for the other object like this, and then use getComponent to pull it from there. This is the general flow. Once you understand this, your development will go much more smoothly, so definitely make sure to remember this part as well. Alright, thank you for your hard work. How did you find today's content? In the latter half of this video, I explained a bit about components, specifically how to grab a component. This operation is going to become really important from here on out. I know some of you might still not quite have a feel for it yet, but as you keep working with it, you'll get used to it. Also, in future videos, I'll be explaining in more and more detail about how to get components, so for now, just try to follow along like this and you should be fine. So, in this video, we just changed some text around, but next time, we're finally going to try updating the score. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.